Y'all have been begging me for a tutorial on how to use this milk steamer frother, and so I thought I would show you on how to do it. I've done a couple of lives and things before, but this one I'll go ahead and leave up for you to check back out when you are making your bougie coffee at home. Who loves to make bougie coffees at home? I know so many of us go through the drive-thru and get those bougie coffees, but I'm going to show you how to make a bougie coffee all from home. So you can do an iced coffee or a hot coffee. I'm going to do a hot coffee. It says be kind. Yes, always be kind. It's the most important thing ever. Let me go start my coffee over here real quick. Now you can do whatever kind of coffee you want, Folgers, or like I said, any sort of iced coffee. I made my own iced coffee here. I love this little mason jar. It actually comes with this filter here where you just put it in the mason jar, the coffee grounds in the mason jar, and let it brew kind of, it's not really brew, but it makes the iced coffee overnight in your fridge. You can leave it out, but I like to put it in my fridge. In about 12 to 48 hours, you can let it steep, if you will, kind of like a tea, let it brew, and you'll have your iced coffee. So this is nice to have in the fridge, ready at any time. My girls love iced coffee, and instead of going through the drive-thru and spending a fortune on iced coffee, we just make it at home and we make it a bougie style so they feel like they ran through the drive-thru. So let me grab my coffee. I do my favorite coffee blend every morning. It is an instant coffee that I do. So I just do about 10 ounces of hot water. I pour my coffee in just like this. I use my handheld frother to kind of mix it up. But again, you can do, I just spilled a little bit of that. You can do whatever coffee you want in here. I'm starting out with 10 ounces of my favorite coffee. And then on this steamer frother is amazing. I have a couple of these. I just transitioned this one for my coffee bar for Valentine's Day because it's pink and I love pink, and I just think it adds a little extra flair to my bar at home. And when you have a fun little coffee bar at home, it makes it fun making all sorts of fun coffees. So couple things I want to show you on this, couple tutorial things. And my white one's the very same. I actually accidentally spilled some coffee in the inside of that. You will see on the inside of this machine, you will have this wire attachment. Now you can take this out so I can kind of show you a little bit closer. Do you see that? It's wire. You can take this wire off. This is what does the frothing for you. This is what does the steaming for you. Okay, and so if you want steamed milk for maybe like a hot cocoa, if you have a hot cocoa bar, especially during the cold months or holiday months, I do have one over on the other side of my kitchen there for the kids. I just have a steamer section in there because they don't need to froth their milk for hot cocoa. They can steam it. And so I put the attachment back on, as you see, the wire attachment. So make sure that's in there, as you will see, because that's what froths your milk or your creamer, your half and half, your heavy whipping cream, whatever you're using. Maybe it's a dairy-free style of creamer that you're using. Whatever you use, you definitely need that in there, otherwise it won't froth, okay? This machine also not only makes, again, the steamed hot milk, like I had mentioned just a minute ago, by taking that attachment out, it makes froth. Can you see it says more of a dense froth or light area froth? This one is steam, but this one, why I love this thing is you can make cold foam too. I know when you go through the drive-thru and get those fancy coffees, they are charging you extra for those cold foams. You can make your own cold foam at home, and that's how you do it. So I'm gonna do hot, obviously, because I got a hot coffee, but you can do iced coffee. If you're doing the iced coffee, I have some little to-go cups that I usually will do the girls up. My teenage boy is more of a protein shake in the morning. My girls love a protein coffee in the morning, so we do that. But in the inside of this, you will see, if I can show you closely, you'll see a max line that shows a wire attachment and then one that's not a wire attachment. So there's a minimum and a maximum line. You'll want to fill to that. Okay, so I'm going to do the minimum line for the frothing. The steam allows you to go all the way up. If you fill it up like this with the frothing attachment on, it's going to make quite a mess. So you don't want to do that. So I'm gonna do the minimum because it's just for me here. And if I ever make extra froth, and I just save it to the next morning, I pop it in the fridge and then take it back out and froth it again, and it warms it all back up for me. Now, for those of you that saw me last week make my vanilla creamer, this is it. It's awesome. If you're buying creamer at the store and you want to try homemade creamer, don't be intimidated by it because it's super, super simple. This is a vanilla homemade creamer. You can find it on my website at crazybusymama.com. That's crazybusymama.com. You'll be able to find it there, and I'll be loading a brand new, let me see the minimum line here. I'm going to be loading a brand new recipe for a sugar-free creamer, so you won't want to miss that. The creamer has been a hot one for you all. Loving that homemade creamer. It's really simple to put together, not hard to do, so don't be intimidated by that. So go to that crazybusymama.com site, check it out. I have the printable recipe there along with a video of how I put it together. Okay, so now that you have it to the minimum line, you want to put it on the surface there and make sure it's plugged in. And you'll see the different frothing styles here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push that first one to give me a froth. And if I could show you the inside, you can see it kind of spinning. I don't know if you can see that really well or not, the way that my angle of my camera is, but it's spinning, it's going, it's making a froth. Now, for those of you that have gotten this and love it, I want you to let me know that you love your new coffee bar. I'm telling you, when I got my frother steamer, it made all the difference for me, for not going through the drive-thru. It just made me feel a little bit extra and fancy. A little bougie coffee never hurt anybody. I love it. So as that's going, it takes about 90 seconds or so to froth. So keep that in mind when you're making your coffee. Again, I just do my coffee out of my Keurig. I do an instant coffee, which is my favorite. 10 ounces of water. I mix it up with my handheld frother. And you can make froth this way too. It just doesn't warm it up for you. So the beautiful thing about this little machine is it heats it while it froths it for you. And the one question that I have very often is not only how do you use it, but will it froth my creamer? Will it froth my almond milk, my coconut milk, my soy milk, my cashew milk, my fat-free creamer, my sugar-free creamer, my homemade creamer? Well, you're gonna see about every different style of creamer. Yes, it will froth it, it just froths it differently. So if you have a milk that's more of a dense style milk, then you'll want to make sure that you're not expecting this light, frothy, kind of airy froth for your coffee. So if you're using a sugar-free, like a Coffee Mate, something like that, it actually has a tendency to froth up really light and airy, and it poofs up a lot. So you'll see as this is done here, this homemade creamer is more of a kind of a dense style froth. So as I pour it on here, you're gonna see that it's more of a cream style of froth. Now, you're like, wow, that's a lot of creamer. It's really not, because what happens is it aerates it and froths it up. So this is probably a couple of tablespoons, maybe a tablespoon and a half of creamer. And that's it, friends. That's how you make your own bougie coffee all from home. I mean, look at that. You can even have some fun cafe art. I have accidental cafe art quite often where I'll make a heart or something like that. I don't really know how to do all sorts of different fun things, but every once in a while I surprise myself as an unskilled barista, if you will, at home with my bougie coffee and making some fun accidental cafe art. But I hope this tutorial showed you how you can do that very same thing. I have a little bit of froth left, and I did fill it up a little past the minimum line while I was talking to you. So this would be great for another coffee. You could put it back on here and put the cooling button on there, and it would cool it down for you to make a cold foam for a cold iced coffee. To have that cold foam on top would be amazing too. But this is the cup of brew that you've been waiting for all of your life, friends. It's delicious. This homemade vanilla creamer is to die for, and it looks super fancy, so you'll be able to start your morning out just right. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions below. Love to answer those for you. And of course, I will be making sure that all of these things that I used today are at your fingertips for details. But any questions that you have, please comment. I'd love to be able to help you with those. Have a good one.